Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking overnight, Pope Francis is dead at 88 years old. What we're learning from the Vatican this morning and the tributes pouring in from across the world. Plus, deadly shootout crash. What we are learning about the violent scene that left multiple people dead in Durham County.
And the two things you need to know heading out the door. The warm temperatures will stick around this week, but we're going to change the weather pattern to wetter. I'll show you when the storms will start to pop up.
And new road closures starting this morning. What drivers need to know about the month-long detour part of the plan to improve I-440. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on your Monday morning on WRAL News on Fox 50. I hope you had a good holiday weekend. I'm Chris Lovingood. We want to hand things over to Elizabeth Gardner. She is tracking the start to your week. And we had a nice last week, Elizabeth, but we have some storms that are approaching.
We do. You know, we need the rain. We're not looking at a major drought situation, but, you know, we need to keep the rain coming so that that doesn't happen. So we'll see that starting tomorrow. Today will feel a lot like yesterday. We're seeing a mix of sun and clouds here. This is a live look at Lewisburg, 69 in the Triangle right now. So temperatures are starting to warm up even more with that southerly flow. A southerly flow bringing in a little more humidity as well. We'll talk about how it's going to feel for us this week coming up. Temperatures are mostly in the low 60s, except the Triangle. We've already started to jump up to nearly 70. We'll climb up to almost 80 at lunchtime. Our high will be 85 degrees, close to what we saw yesterday. Now tomorrow, a front comes in and stalls over us. It's going to bring us a better chance for storms. Isolated severe weather is possible for tomorrow with that level 1 risk. We'll talk about what some of the what we could see really out of that. Our best chance for rain tomorrow comes later in the day, and I'll show you how many days in a row we could see this rain coming up. Michelle?
Thanks, Elizabeth. No heat needed in the car this morning, that's for sure. This is a live look I-40 at Lake Wheeler Road. This is always so busy every morning, and it's no different this morning. Look at all these cars on their way to work or school after the holiday weekend. Super busy there this morning. We are tracking a couple of different crashes around the Triangle this morning. The first crash that I want to take you to, this one just popped up. This one is happening, let's see if my maps will work for me this morning. There we go, Knightdale Boulevard near Smithfield Road. I'm not seeing any delays from that. I do have a camera to show you what's going on in this area. This is I-87 at Smithfield Road. You can see traffic moving along very well this morning, so that is some good news. Another crash I'm also following is this one, US 401 northbound near Tryon Road. That one also not causing any delays so far this morning. And a different crash just north of that on Glenwood Avenue near Lead Mine Road. That one has been there for a little while, not seeing any delays from that one either. Another crash, this one on Hillsborough Street eastbound near Burton Avenue. Again, none of these crashes really causing any delays so far this morning, which is some good news. If you are heading out the door, I do have some drive times for you. We are seeing a 7-minute delay coming in on US 1 South from Wake Forest and a 1-minute delay on 87 coming in from Knightdale. As always, listen to us on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Michelle. We continue to follow that breaking news regarding the death of Pope Francis. The Vatican says the Pope died this morning around 1:30 our time, and he did make an appearance for an Easter Sunday blessing at St. Peter's Square. He recently had health issues involving pneumonia and bronchitis. He was 88 years old. Let's go to WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's been following this breaking news this morning, and she's live at Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral in Raleigh. Kelsey, have you had a chance to talk to anyone this morning about this?
Chris, we haven't. No one has arrived at the cathedral just yet, but the Vatican made the announcement about the Pope's death around 4 o'clock this morning. And right now we're outside of Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral, just a somber feeling here. And we're working to find out whether they will have a mass scheduled for later today. Pope Francis briefly met with Vice President J.D. Vance yesterday on Easter. Francis met with him at the Vatican Hotel where he lived. That visit came after the Pope's weeks-long battle with an infection that led to double pneumonia. Pope Francis only visited the U.S. one time back in 2015. He traveled to several cities like New York and Philadelphia. Our WRAL cameras were there when he visited Washington, D.C. We're keeping up with local reaction to the Pope's death this morning. We're still waiting to hear from the Catholic Diocese of Raleigh. We just mentioned that there's no mass scheduled here at Holy Name of Jesus so far, but there is one that's scheduled at Sacred Heart Church for this afternoon at 12:10. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Several people are dead after a crash, and Durham County deputies are looking for a car involved in a shooting overnight, and both situations are related. Around 6:30 last night, investigators were told about 2 drivers shooting near Ball Road. While the deputies saw the cars, tried to stop them, but they sped away. One of the vehicles crashed on Roxborough Street near Lotta Road. Authorities say several people were killed after that, but it's unclear if any progress was made finding that second vehicle. WRAL is working to get more information about the people who died. And heads up, if you drive through Raleigh today, a new road closure could impact your commute for the next month. It's all a part of the I-440 improvement project, and it starts today. WRAL's Laura Levine is live with where this is happening. Laura, talk a little bit about the detours people have to know about with this.
Well, Chris, we know drivers here in Raleigh have called the construction projects on I-440 a logistical nightmare, and they're going to run into a few roadblocks once this new road closure begins. Right now, we're on Barrel Road, and the NCDOT says that Barrel Road at I-440 will be closed for about a month so crews can safely do some bridge work as a part of the I-440 improvement project. Now, the road is still open at this time. We were expecting around 8 o'clock this morning, but here's what you should know once this closure is in place. Drivers traveling east to Barrel on Blue Ridge will be detoured to Hutton Street, to Ligon Street, to Blue Ridge, to Western, to Method Road, then back to Barrel. And those driving westbound will detour to Method Road and Western Boulevard, and then choose to use Blue Ridge or Powell Drive. The overall I-440 improvement project is a $475 million project that's been in the works since 2017. The major thoroughfare was built in the 60s, and the DOT said major repairs were needed, from widening lanes because of congestion, replacing pavement and bridges, and upgrading those interchanges. So once this work begins, they're going to be working on this until May 19th, and then the overall I-440 project won't be completed until the end of this year. Laura Levine, WRAL News. We're live in Raleigh.
Today, educators are having their second public meeting with district leaders in Durham. The Durham Association of Educators is advocating for teachers and staff, and they're doing this as the district deals with a $7 million budget shortfall. The association will discuss its 9 urgent priorities, and among them, this includes budget transparency, pay, transportation, and protecting immigrant families from ICE. That public meeting starts at 6 o'clock tonight. An electrifying finish for the Carolina Hurricanes with a 4-1 win over the New Jersey Devils. Round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs opened with a packed house and so much energy. The pregame light show set the tone at Lenovo Center. Fans believe this team has what it takes, and they trust Coach Brendan Moore to lead the way.
There's a lot of new faces with this team, but honestly, I think our core group of guys are the ones that are going to be able to get it done. And, I think Rod Brendamore being the captain of the ship, he's going to lead us to victory.
The team now looks to keep that momentum going for round 2 against the Devils at Lenovo Center tomorrow night. The New York Times reports Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth also shared detailed plans about military operations with his family. Sources say he used his personal phone to send information about U.S. military operations in Yemen. The messages were sent to a 13-person Signal group chat, and that included his wife and his brother. You may recall just a month ago, it became public that Hegseth shared the operation details in a separate Signal chat, and that chat included a journalist. New this morning, Vice President J.D. Vance arrived in India for a 4-day visit. He will meet with Prime Minister Narendra Modi to talk about the economy and to talk about trade. A trade deal between India and the U.S. could strengthen economic and diplomatic ties. Vance's visit comes weeks after Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard was in the country for a geopolitical conference. Modi also met with President Trump in Washington back in February. Parts of Missouri saw widespread damage because of storms that hit that state. See for yourself. Winds were clocked as high as 92 miles per hour. The city of Carl Junction saw a lot of damage. Damaged buildings there, downed power lines and trees, as well as debris were visible from across the area. Schools are closed today in that area because of the damage. The village of Chimney Rock is slowly bouncing back after months of cleanup from Helene's damage. Teams have cleaned much of that debris and rebuilt the roads there. Temporary bridges are in place. Workers are replacing the water and the sewer system there. The village remains closed to the public, and businesses once buried in mud, well, now they have new walls and new floors. Village leadership hopes to at least partially reopen to visitors this summer. Your time is 8:09 this morning. Joyful news for a local girl who needs a liver transplant. The next steps for the family. Plus, up to 9 possible tornadoes. The cleanup beginning after deadly weather hit North Texas this weekend.
And our temperatures are mild this morning. I'll show you why it will stay warm for much of the week, but why our pattern changes tomorrow and turns wetter. 8:12. Breaking news, we have a giant stink bug attacking Durham. I mean, well, it's stink bug, definitely no reflection on Durham, right? Oh, look, I scared him away. Our temperatures are in the 60s this morning, so nothing scary. It's starting to get a little windier, though, here in Wilson this morning. We're going to see our wind coming out of the south-southeast. It's actually bringing in a little more moisture. It's going to feel a bit more humid for the next several days. A front's going to stall and bring us a better chance for showers and storms, but it's a pleasant morning. It is 69 in Durham, 63 in Fayetteville, 65 in Cary, 64 in Garner. Chris Michael's coming up with the Ask the Meteorologist segment. Did you get sunburned over the weekend? I saw a lot of people out there. Chris is going to talk more about why it's so common in the month of April.
Yeah, Elizabeth, my fiance was outside yesterday and he got a little color. I'm like, it's April. This is crazy. All right, taking a look at the roads, I-87 at Smithfield Road. This is the area where we are actually seeing a crash. I'm going to show you exactly where it is on the map here. We're not seeing any delays from this. You just saw the live feed. That also not showing any delays. This is Nightdale Boulevard near Smithfield Road. Not seeing any delays from that crash. That's been here for a little while. Another crash, we're also monitoring this one, US 401 northbound near Tryon Road. That one has been there. Not seeing any delays from that one either, which is some good news. Another crash near the mall, actually, on Glenwood Avenue near Lead Mine Road. That one also not causing any delays so far this morning. And this one as well, Hillsborough Street near Burton Avenue. Again, that's been there for a little while as well. Keeping my eye on all of these to see if we have any delays from any of these. If you were driving around Durham this morning, only seeing a couple of minute delays. Infinity Road southbound on 501, you'll see a 1 minute delay, and a 1 minute delay if you're coming in westbound from NC 50 on 98. As always, if you're on the go, listen to us on the radio, 101.5 HD3. And breaking here in the WRAL Live Center, we've just learned that Pope Francis will be laid in a coffin at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Meanwhile, tributes and condolences from around the world are coming into the WRAL Live Center. President Trump just posted within the last 15 minutes this statement: "Rest in peace, Pope Francis. May God bless him and all who loved him." French President Emmanuel Macron said to all Catholics, "To a grieving world, my wife and I send our thoughts." The royal family also posted this morning, "His Holiness will be remembered for his compassion, his concern for the unity of the church, and for his tireless commitment to the common causes of all people of faith." And one of Pope Francis's last official acts as Pope was meeting with Vice President J.D. Vance yesterday. And J.D. Vance said, "I just learned of the passing of Pope Francis. My heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world who loved him." We'll continue to track these tributes here in the WRAL Live Center.
Okay, we'll keep looking for those, Renee. Thank you. Classes at Florida State University are set to resume today. And just days ago, a shooting on campus killed 2 people and injured 6 others. The university says it is offering remote options and waiving mandatory attendance, and this is to allow students more time to process the tragedy. That decision was announced after more than 1,000 people signed a petition. They demanded students be allowed to work remotely. The Chapel Hill family got incredible news this weekend. 5-year-old Hollis Lynn, who we told you about on Friday, finally has a liver donor match. Her condition is so rare it doesn't even have an official medical name. Hollis's mom, Lindsay Lynn, says they are overjoyed after this. Now they're preparing for the next stages.
It's generally like a 8 to 10 hour surgery. So not sure how I'm gonna not go crazy during that time, but I'll do my best. We've been talking about a new liver since she could understand kind of what we were talking about. So she is excited for her new liver and somewhat understands that there will be some pain involved. There's no words to how grateful we are for the donor.
Hollis has a potential surgery scheduled for next Monday, but look at that, getting the help she needs. More measles cases are popping up in the U.S. Louisiana, Missouri, and Virginia reported their first cases of 2025, and each case was tied to international travel. In Virginia, a child under 5 tested positive after traveling abroad. Louisiana's case involves an unvaccinated adult now in isolation. And Missouri leadership reports a child case with limited exposure. Health leaders warn the virus spreads easily, and they say vaccination is the best protection. Starting today, DHL Shipping is temporarily suspending shipments to the U.S. worth more than $800. The company says the move is due to a, quote, significant increase in red tape at customs following President Trump's tariffs. Previously, packages worth up to $2,500 could enter the U.S. with minimal paperwork. Well, now the threshold has been lowered because more stringent custom checks are in place. Sam's Club members, you may want to listen up. The way you check out at the store may be changing soon. Actually, it will be changing, I should say. The store is going to phase out checkout lanes at all of its stores and will let customers scan their items through an app as they shop. Tests for the new system began last year, and shoppers can essentially just use the new Just Walk, Just Go process with the Sam's Club app. They'll have an AI scanner that verifies the items as they leave, eliminating receipt checking at the door. So it has been one of the warmest Aprils on record, and that means you're probably outside more, and that means possibly more sunburn. Let's go ahead and bring in meteorologist Chris Michaels for this. Chris, sunburn, it's unexpected but common this time of year.
I mean, some of my worst sunburns happen this time of year, especially on days like today when you have that mid to high level cloud cover. Unfortunately, that cloud cover is thin, so the UV index is still very high. That means it takes about 15 to 20 minutes for sunburn to settle in if you don't have the proper protection. So let's talk about why that's the case. This time of year, the sun at its peak is 61 degrees above the horizon. Let's compare that to other times of year. Really, the summer solstice is when you see it at its highest at 77 degrees above the horizon. But April sunshine is just about as strong or as high in the sky as you would get in mid to late August. So again, in August, you think to put on the sunscreen because you're heading out to the pool, you're laying out, but April, you should be doing that as well. A sign of the times here, April 29th is the first 8 p.m. sunset of 2025. It'll set after that time through August the 23rd. And as always, if you want us to go more in depth on something weather related, you can let us know by going to Ask the Meteorologist on WRAL.com.
2 lawsuits list new claims of collusion against major insurance companies in California, including State Farm. The lawsuits stem from the LA wildfires, and plaintiffs say they were victims of an illegal scheme to deny coverage to high-risk homeowners. They claim insurers conspired to limit competition and push them into the state's last resort option, the California FAIR Plan. 9 tornadoes tore through North Texas on Saturday. I want to show you some aerial video of that region. You can see right here the damaged homes and the downed trees at one point. There are no reports of injuries, though. Now, the same storm system is believed to have produced a total of 16 tornadoes in Texas and Oklahoma combined. Today, the National Weather Service plans to send out crews to determine the path and the severity of those tornadoes. Now, we hear this, and I wonder, Elizabeth, that system that hit those states, is that the one that's approaching for us this week, or?
It is. It's going to be much weaker once it arrives here, which is fortunately for us so often the case. But it is going to then stall here. It'll lose a lot of its momentum, but it'll sit there and be a focusing mechanism for storms, which is really going to change our weather pattern starting tomorrow. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, all seeing a good bit of cloud cover, but the clouds are fairly thin, so we're seeing some sunshine peeking through, similar to yesterday. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant, of course. Here's a look at the system, and you can see some thunder and lightning still along that front. And early on in the loop, you can see those red shaded areas with tornado watches, some tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings coming across the Mississippi. So we're on the south side of the warm front, leaving very warm temperatures, and this front isn't going to sweep through and deliver a nice cool air mass that's here. Instead, this front will stall here, so we don't see much of a change in temperature, but that next weather maker, that stalled front, will bring us mainly afternoon and evening thunderstorms and very slow moving storms. So some of those could produce some heavy precipitation. This is a look tomorrow. At lunchtime, we're still nice and dry. We move it into the afternoon. At 3 o'clock, starting to see some cells pop up. And at 5, 6 o'clock, we're probably going to be some rain, at least in part of the viewing area for the evening commute. We also tomorrow have a level 1 risk for severe storms. 1 or 2 of those cells could produce some wind damage, but level 1 risk means it wouldn't be widespread. For tomorrow, again, starting at around 3 o'clock, showers and storms develop, and then they just keep redeveloping. There's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No real change in the pattern until Saturday when a front comes through and does draw in some cooler, drier air just in time for Sunday. But in the meantime, 5 days in a row, anywhere from 40 to 60% chance of some showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Looking at anywhere from half an inch to maybe 1.5 inches of rain total over those 5 days. It'll vary widely depending on where those cells do pop up. We'll also see a bump up in our humidity. I'll show you what that will feel like through the week. Coming up, Michelle.
Thanks, Elizabeth. A busy morning commute I-40 at Lake Wheeler Road. This is a busy travel stretch here. So lots of cars on the road, not seeing any delays. We are seeing a couple of crashes on the map, as you can see. None of these crashes have been causing any delays all morning long. This one on Nightdale Boulevard near Smithfield Road. A lot of green on the map with all of these crashes indicating that really they aren't causing any slowdowns. This other one on US 401 near Tryon Road. That one also not causing any delays so far this morning. And this one here just disappeared. It was on Glenwood Avenue, so that one is gone, which is some good news. And this one here, Hillsborough Street near Burton Avenue, that one also not causing any delays so far this morning. If you are traveling out on Smithfield Road and I-87, this is what this looks like. Plenty of sunshine. Maybe grab the sunglasses if you're heading out the door. It's a warm start. I do have some drive times for you as well. If you were up in Durham, we were only seeing a 1-minute delay coming in on 98 from NC 50 and a 1-minute delay on 501 coming in from Infinity Road, Chris.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Your time is 8:23. Pope Francis' final acts, what we are learning from the Vatican this morning, and the tributes pouring in from around the world. Plus, new road closure alert. What drivers need to know about a month-long detour starting today near I-440.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good Monday morning. Your time is 8:26, and I'm Chris Lovingood. Let's get your day started off right with your forecast with Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's a little cloudy out there, similar to yesterday. Our temperatures are feeling nice and mild. It's a live look at downtown Durham. We're at 69 degrees right now. 63 Fayetteville and Roxborough, 66 in Cary and in Garner. We'll see that mix of sun and clouds all day, but today does stay dry. Lunchtime is 78 degrees, so great day to spend your lunch hour outside or head out this afternoon for a little pickleball. But just note that it's going to be hot in the middle of the afternoon again, mid-80s. This evening at 7 o'clock, though, we're back down to 80 degrees. Michelle?
Thanks, Elizabeth. Tracking a couple of different crashes this morning on your Monday morning. This first crash I want to take you to, this one just popped up on 440. This happening eastbound near Glenwood Avenue. That one just happened, so we are not seeing any delays from that one. Another crash we're also following is this one, Knightdale Boulevard near East Smithfield Road. That's been there for quite a while, not really seeing any delays from that either. If you were heading out the door, as always, take us with you. But listen to us anywhere, 101.5 HD3.
After 1 o'clock this morning, investigators cleared the scene of a crash that killed multiple people in Durham County. This happened on Roxborough Street near Lotto Road after shots were fired between two cars. Deputies are still looking for one of the vehicles involved in this. And starting this morning, a section of WRAL Road is closed near I-440. This is so teams can safely perform bridge work on the Beltline. The closure is expected to last about a month's time. And next on Fox 50, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the reaction pouring in regard to the death of Pope Francis. Plus, next on Today, it's Earth Week, and there is an in-depth look at the state of America's endangered red wolves.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking overnight, Pope Francis is dead. We're showing you video right now of the Vatican there, where leadership says the 88-year-old died this morning. As the Catholic Church mourns, we are looking into how the Pope will be honored today. Plus a shootout and a crash. Durham County deputies are searching this morning for a second car involved in a shooting. Well, we know about a deadly crash where the first car was found.
And two weather makers you need to know about. One, the warm temperatures from the weekend will stick around. I'll show you how long. And then our weather pattern turns wetter. I'll show you when we can see some storms.
Plus a commute closure. Starting at 8 a.m., Barrow Road will be closed at I-440. It began about 30 minutes ago, and it will be closed at I-440. The Beltline improvements, that'll be underway for about a month. A lot of stories to get to this morning. We'll dive right into it. Thanks for joining us here on WRAL News and Fox 50. I am Chris Lovingood. Let me hand it over to Elizabeth Gardner to get you started on your weather forecast for the day.
Looking pretty out there. This is a live look at Lewisburg. Looks like a good bit of sunshine, but you can tell it's kind of filtered sun. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds for today. It'll feel like it did yesterday. You know, yesterday we had some overcast periods. Same story today. Looking at 69 already in the Triangle area, and with that flow that continues to come out of the south, it is going to be a little bit more muggy. That started yesterday as well. well, that continues this week. 63 in Roxborough, 64 in Rocky Mount, as well as Goldsboro, 62 in Southern Pines and in Clinton this morning. Taking a look at our temperatures throughout the day, it is going to be another hot one, just like yesterday. Highs will climb into the mid-80s. It does cool off a bit as we get into the evening if you're looking to get out and exercise, but tomorrow we have a level 1 risk for severe storms. It just means an isolated storm or two could produce some severe storms, mainly just some wind damage. The timeline for that looks like late afternoon and evening, but this could continue for several days. I'll show you coming up. Michelle?
Thanks, Elizabeth. It's been a busy morning out there. I-40 at Lake Wheeler Road. I always like to show this shot because this is a very, very notoriously busy area that a lot of people use to commute to and from work and school every day. So this is a live look there. A lot of cars on the road, not seeing any delays in that particular area, though. Just a little bit of a slowdown because of how many people are on the road. Looking at the traffic map, we are dealing with a couple of different crashes. Let's see if there we go. This first crash is happening on 440. This one just popped up eastbound near Glenwood Avenue. A lot of green on the map there indicating we're not seeing any delays from this. I do have a live look. We have a camera there, I-440 at Glenwood Avenue. A lot of people on the road, but again, we are not seeing any delays from that crash. Another crash we are also following is this one, Nightdale Boulevard near Smithfield Road. A lot of green on the map there as well, indicating no delays. Another crash also not seeing any delays from is this one, Hillsborough Street near Burton Avenue. I'm going to keep an eye on all of these and let you know if they do change. I do have some drive times for you if you are coming into the capital city. 4-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest on US 1 and a 1-minute delay coming in on 87 South from Nightdale. Again, take us with you in the car, 101.5 HD3.
All right, we do want to go back to our coverage of Pope Francis's death. The Vatican announced his death this morning at the age of 88 years old. Vatican officials say the Pope died around 1:30 a.m. our time. Pope Francis made an appearance for an Easter Sunday blessing at St. Peter's Square. He was discharged from the hospital last month, and he spent 5 weeks being treated for an infection that led to double pneumonia. In WRAL's Kelsey Coffey, she has been following this breaking news. She is live at the Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral in Raleigh. Good morning, Kelsey.
Chris, good morning. The Vatican made that announcement about 4 hours ago, and we're outside the Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral here in Raleigh this morning. We are waiting to hear if they will have a mass scheduled for later today. Pope Francis briefly visited with Vice President J.D. Vance yesterday on Easter. Francis met with him at the Vatican Hotel where he lived. That visit came after the Pope's recent weeks-long battle with an infection that led to double pneumonia. Pope Francis only visited the U.S. one time, back in 2015. He traveled to several cities like New York and Philadelphia. Our WRAL cameras were there when he visited Washington, D.C. We're keeping up with local reaction to the Pope's death this morning. We're still waiting to hear from the Catholic Diocese of Raleigh. I just checked their Facebook page and they haven't made a post just yet. And we did mention that they will not be having a mass here at Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral today, but there is a mass scheduled at 12:10 at Sacred Heart Church. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And just within the last 30 minutes, we learned that Pope Francis's body will be laid in a coffin at 2 p.m. our time today. Cardinal Kevin Farrell, who is now the acting head of the Vatican, will preside over the certification of the Pope's death and the placing of his body in the coffin. The Pope's family and other senior Vatican officials will take part in that rite. A little bit more about Cardinal Kevin Farrell, who is from the U.S. and will lead the Vatican until a new Pope is elected. Farrell is a former Bishop of Dallas. He was born in Dublin, became a naturalized American citizen after spending many years ministering in the U.S. He's fluent in English and Spanish, the two most widely spoken languages in the Catholic Church. Pope Francis made the Cardinal one of his most trusted collaborators.
Several people are dead after a crash, and Durham County deputies are looking for a car involved in a shooting overnight. Both situations are related. Around 6:30 last night, investigators were told about two drivers shooting near Ball Road. Well, a deputy saw the cars, tried to stop them, but they sped away. One of the vehicles crashed on Roxborough Street near Lotta Road. And authorities say several people were killed after that, but it's unclear if any progress was made finding that second vehicle. But WRAL is working to get more information about the people who died. And drivers in Raleigh can prepare for a new road closure to start this morning. It's related to the ongoing I-440 improvement project. WRAL's Laura Levine is near Barrel Road. And Laura, the closure is part of the plan to improve Raleigh's Beltline.
Chris, good morning. Right now here on Barrow Road, we are beginning to see some crews arrive here. You probably can see one sign that was put out there that says road closed, but this is going to have an impact on drivers, especially along I-440. So the NCDOT says Barrow Road at I-440 will be closed for about a month so crews can safely do some bridge work as part of the I-440 improvement project. So here's what you should know. Drivers traveling east to Barrow on Blue Ridge will be detoured to Hutton Street, to Liggett Street, to Blue Ridge, to Western, to Method Road, then back to Barrow. And those driving westbound will detour to Method Road and Western Boulevard and then choose to use Blue Ridge or Powell Drive. The overall I-440 improvement project is a $475 million project that's been in the works since 2017. The major thoroughfare was built in the 60s, and the DOT says that major repairs were needed, from widening lanes because of congestion, replacing pavement and bridges, and upgrading those interchanges. So once this detour is in place, we know that it's going to last until May 19th. Overall, the I-440 improvement project will not be completed until the end of this year. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And in Durham, discussions over affordable housing and efforts to clean up neighborhoods there. These are topics that are on the agenda for the Durham City Council tonight, and they're set to meet at 7 o'clock. Residents can give their input on proposed changes to the city's consolidated plan, and it would allow more people in need to receive housing subsidies. Ahead of Earth Day tomorrow, the council will discuss a grant supporting recycling education. And we're learning more about a man who was hit and killed by a minivan in Fayetteville. This happened in front of a home on Tangora Lane on Saturday evening. A neighbor says a minivan drove into a yard, hitting a man who was standing in a driveway.
And then when I went over there, when I was on the phone with 911 to see if he was breathing, pretty sure I seen him take his last breath or very close to it.
He says he doesn't know much about the people involved other than they were a couple. Fayetteville police have not released any details about the driver, and they also have not released the name of the man killed. And so we did reach out to Fayetteville police to ask them, is this a homicide? They say it's still a death investigation at this point. At least 4 people were taken to the hospital because of a wrong-way crash on US 70 in Selma yesterday. You see video from the scene right here on your screen. Witnesses say they saw law enforcement chasing the wrong-way driver at the time of the crash. And video from another witness shows Selma police officers surrounding a crashed car. We are working to learn more about what happened and the condition of the people involved. North Carolina Democrats hope to pass a maternal care bill in this session. It's the latest version of what's known as the Momnibus bill. It's meant to improve outcomes, especially for black women. Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die from childbirth. To help prevent unnecessary death, the bill would do several things: establish grants for community-based organizations, provide implicit bias training for maternal care professionals, and fund lactation consultant training programs at HBCUs.
I'm highly educated. I am able to advocate for myself, but yet was dismissed, and my symptoms could have easily resulted in me losing my life. I was telling the nurses and the staff, hey, I know I'm in full-blown labor. I need some medication, please, for pain management. I actually was ignored.
And their stories are not common. It happens quite a bit. The bill is once again unlikely to pass. And WRAL's documentary unit looked into the maternal mortality disparity in North Carolina. Our documentary, Critical Term, examines the maternal and the infant crisis and the steps being taken to address it. You can watch this anytime on WRAL.com. The Israeli military finished their investigation into the killing of 15 paramedics in Gaza. The group of paramedics worked for the Palestine Red Crescent Society, and they were shot before being buried in a mass grave. The Israeli probe identified a breach of orders and a failure to fully report the incident. A commanding officer was punished, and the deputy commander of the battalion was dismissed from the position. The organization says the deaths of those paramedics should be considered a war crime. Your time is 8:40. Deadly storm damage, destruction left behind in Oklahoma after severe weather. Ahead, the response to a truck carried away by flooding. And saving you money. From the grocery store to the gas station, families are seeing higher costs, which is why 5 on Your Side's Keely Arthur will share ways to get more leeway on your budget. Oh boy, folks, 80-degree days. Woo, is it summer? Not quite yet, as you're looking live over Fayetteville. After the break, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will share when we can expect showers this week.
8:44, taking a look at some pleasant temperatures stepping out the door. Wilson, partly cloudy, a little bit breezy. We're seeing our wind coming out of the south, so it's a warm flow, but a little bit more humid. You may have noticed that yesterday. That's going to continue for the next few days. 64 in Wilson, 69 already in Durham, and Fayetteville at 63. So we're seeing a mix of sun and clouds. Today's going to feel a whole lot like yesterday in terms of the cloud cover that we'll see on and off. A nice mild start with temperatures in the mid-60s, no jackets required, and then some warm temperatures. Of course, we do have some rain in the forecast for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but it's not going to be a lot any one day, so it's not likely to help bring our pollen count down. It stays high for really much of the week. Our temperatures warm too, like yesterday. Highs will be in the mid-80s. Walking the dog this evening, still in the low 80s. Michelle?
Thanks, Elizabeth. Grab the sunglasses before you head out the door and into your car. This is a sunshine look at I-440 at Glenwood Avenue. We are monitoring a couple of crashes this morning. It's been quite a busy morning for your Monday. This one crash we're following is on 440 near Glenwood Avenue. You just saw the live feed. Not really seeing any delays from this. A lot of green on the map there, so I'm thinking this might be a minor incident on 440 near Glenwood Avenue. Another crash we're also following is this one, Nightdale Boulevard near East Smithfield Road. That one not causing any delays either. A lot of these crashes are coming and going, so I'm going to keep an eye on all of those for you. This is a live look at some drive times. A 2-minute delay coming in on 40 from Wade Avenue and a 1-minute delay coming in 501 from Infinity Road. Chris?
All right, thank you, Michelle. The fight over President Trump's immigration policies is escalating in the U.S. Supreme Court. The administration is asking the court to end its pause on their planned deportations. At least 28 Venezuelan detainees are being held at a Texas ICE facility. The court ruled the men cannot be deported under the Alien Enemies Act. The president lashed out against the ruling on social media yesterday. He said, quote, "Happy Easter also to the weak and ineffective judges and law enforcement officials who are allowing this sinister attack on our nation to continue." Russia and Ukraine are blaming each other for breaking a one-day Easter ceasefire. The pause in fighting was declared by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia carried out hundreds of artillery attacks Saturday and Sunday. Russia's defense ministry is accusing Ukraine of doing the same. This past Friday, President Trump said the U.S. would walk away from peace efforts unless there are signs of progress soon. Houthi rebels in Yemen say the U.S. military conducted new airstrikes last night. They say the attacks left at least 12 people dead and injured 30 others. The strikes have been part of a month-long bombing campaign, and that started when the Houthis began attacking commercial vessels in the Red Sea. Teams are working to contain this massive wildfire burning in southern New Jersey. This fire started on Friday, and by Saturday, it grew to 1,200 acres and was 75% contained. There are no evacuations in the area, and authorities say no injuries have been reported. Firefighters are working to determine what started this fire. Meanwhile, people in Oklahoma are cleaning up storm damage from over the weekend. Some buildings were destroyed during this severe weather, and a woman and 12-year-old boy were killed after floodwaters swept a truck away. 3 others were rescued. Young kids showing up to school high on products they bought in a shop across the street.
For it to go down to middle school, and my daughter's a middle schooler, to see that was even more concerning.
Tonight at 6 o'clock, WRAL investigates the vape shop where middle schoolers say they bought those products. We'll also reveal the undercover operation that led to charges against the shop owner. You'll hear what lawmakers are doing to try to keep these products out of the hands of your children. WRAL investigates protecting your family tonight at 6. With higher prices and tariffs likely to push them even higher, you might be looking at ways to stretch your dollars more. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur explains ways that you can save money where it matters the most.
From the gas station to the grocery store, it is no doubt that families are feeling the financial pinch. But you can make some smart, simple changes that will have a real difference on your budget.
Cooking at home gives you a ton of control over your budget, and you'll find you'll save a lot, maybe even hundreds, just by swapping out a few meals out for a few meals cooked at home.
Consumer Reports tested 11 food categories and found store brand items that tested just as good as name brands at up to 62% less money. Want to save even more? Stick to a list and buy in bulk when it makes sense. Now let's talk energy. While energy efficient appliances can help lower bills, repairing what you already have might be the smarter move. If your appliance is relatively new or a higher end model, a repair could cost far less than a full replacement. And no matter the season, small changes can lead to big savings. In the summer, use ceiling fans and block out direct sunlight with curtains or shades to keep your home cool without cranking up the AC. Looking for even more ways to save? Well, try by looking at your subscriptions, your apps, even repeat deliveries. Cutting down on some of those things can really pay off. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Ford is recalling several car models for braking issues and computer issues. More than 120,000 vehicles nationwide could have an issue with the brake master cylinder. Another 24,000 cars are facing a software issue with the powertrain control module. Affected models include certain 2017 and 2018 F-150s, Expeditions, and Lincoln Navigators, as well as 2024 and 2025 E-Transit chassis cab, the 2024 Rangers, and the 2024 Lincoln Nautilus vehicles. Oh, the cicadas, they're coming. These loud, large, buzzing insects are a staple of North Carolina summers. Staples, is that the right word we want to use there? It's something. Last year, when 2 broods of cicadas emerged, everyone was talking about cicada apocalypse. Matt Bertone is an entomologist at NC State University, and he says a 17-year species will affect North Carolina's mountains. However, he's not predicting the same effect in the Triangle this year.
Cicadas, then you're going to be disappointed. If you hate cicadas, then you're going to be happy because, or at least the periodical ones, because you're not going to see them here in the central part of the state.
You can visit WRAL.com for an explanation of the different types of cicadas and some fun facts about them. The White House is hosting the annual Easter egg roll today, and every year, kids are invited to the South Lawn to decorate eggs and play games. Now, despite a recent egg shortage, 30,000 real eggs will be used for this event. New this year, the White House solicited corporate sponsors for this tradition. Several major U.S. tech companies signed up, including Amazon, Meta, and YouTube. The funds raised will be sent to the White House Historical Association. All right, getting outside with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Have a look at Fenton right now. A lot of people living over there. Pretty nice morning to wake up to.
It really is. Yeah, it's a nice place to be for sure. And, you know, the lawn out here with the chairs, I'm sure there were a lot of people out enjoying it. I saw so many people out yesterday just, soaking up the sun, enjoying our beautiful Easter Sunday. Look at the sunshine that's really starting to break out. We had more cloud cover early this morning. And as I'm looking at more of the cameras right now, we're starting to see some of those clouds thin out. But we do have a cold front that's on the way, and that does mean increasing clouds for later today. 69 in the Triangle. We'll see our temperature at 80 degrees by lunchtime. So it's a fast warm up right now. We're mainly looking at low to mid 60s, except in the Triangle where it's already 69, 63 Fayetteville, 66 Goldsboro, 64 in Rocky Mount, 66 in Cary, 68 in Garner, 63 in Chapel Hill. Checking our temperatures for this afternoon, very similar to what we saw yesterday. Expect mid 80s, 85 in Raleigh, 86 in Durham, and 87 in Fayetteville. And we love this photo. Tony Rice sent us this from Apex. This is a sundog. This is where we have clouds that are thin, that are formed by ice crystals, and the sun's rays hit a spot and create this little rainbow. Tony Rice is also our NASA ambassador, and here, just in a few minutes, he's coming in to talk about the Lyrid meteor shower with meteorologist Chris Michael. So that's in our 9 o'clock hour. Go to WRAL.com/report it. We love to see your photos. Our temperatures stay warm to hot, looking at 79 on Wednesday. That's going to be the coolest day that we see for the next 6 or 7 days. We have our cold front that'll come through and stall over us. That's going to bring more moisture, so it becomes more humid, and we'll also have a better chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And of course, we see that all the way through from tomorrow to Saturday. So be ready for that. Mainly we'll see those in the late afternoon and evening. And for tomorrow, we do already have a level 1 risk for severe storms. Just a few of those storms could produce some wind damage. Chris?
Thank you, Elizabeth. Before we go to break, we do want to get you a look at your winning lottery numbers, and we'll get you another check on weather and traffic in just a second.